I'm not sure how closely you saw it, but I imagine you're at least somewhat aware of the turmoil from the Charlie Stramel selection.
Yep.
Can you talk about just what you see in Charlie as a prospect and what we need to see this year as he transitions over to Michigan State to, really deem it a successful season?
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough. Obviously, I was lower on Stramel to begin with, but in saying that, I understood at the time why people were so excited about him. He was injured and missed a good chunk of time throughout his 2 years at the program. But right before his second of 2 injuries at the program, he looked like maybe even a top 10 pick. They called him the big rig. He was this big, strong kid. He could absolutely rip the puck. He moved fine for his size, and he was just a freak athlete who could really impose himself as a centerman on games. Then he gets back healthy. He's never really a top player on that team after that point. He became kind of a fourth line center for that team, third, fourth line center for that team. He was also playing up a sort of up in age group, if you will, because he was a late birthday. He wasn't with his draft class worth of players. He was ahead of them. But then he goes to Wisconsin, and Wisconsin, I thought, was in a big transition period. That program was a mess, frankly. One of the messiest programs in college hockey. They changed the coaching staff. I've got a ton of respect for the new coaching staff. But it was a work in progress, and he kind of got caught on a roster influx with the Badgers and just didn't really look himself. Then he also got injured again and missed some time, and it's just been a rough couple of years for him, and he hasn't looked, especially offensively, like he's got it, and he just wasn't imposing himself on games in the same way. So now he gets to hit the restart button, and you just hope he can become an NHL player. Like, I think that is ultimately, if he plays NHL games, that's what you're measuring success by now. He's got to get signed first, though. Like, he's got so many steps he's got to take here. He's going to have to play in the AHL and prove himself in the AHL. He's going to have to play well enough in college to get signed. But I think as far as this season goes, if he can be a 20 points in 30 game guy, like, I think that's what you're hoping for. He's not all of a sudden going to be a point per game first line offensive player, but if he can just be a regular contributor offensively and not the bit of a black hole that he was at Wisconsin offensively, if he can be a second power play guy and score 8 or 9 goals in college, like, it's hard to score 10 goals in Division I. It really is. 10 goals is the barometer for a good season for any player, no matter who, whether you're a first round pick or undrafted guy. 10 goals is kind of what any coach will tell you is a good season. If he can score 10 goals and 20 points, that would be a great step forward for him. And just play with a little more pace. Like, he needs to show that he can play with more pace.